Hey guys, today we're talking about order of operations. When you work order of operations, there are 4 crucial steps. If you want to memorize PEMDAS, it helps you remember these steps. The first step is to evaluate expressions inside grouping symbols. Parentheses, brackets, even absolute value is considered a part of this. Then we evaluate powers. So anything with an exponent. So for example, 3 to the 5th power. Then we multiply and divide from the left to the right. These two are actually equivalent to one another in terms of absolute value. So we have to use the left to the right rule, which means if I see 3 divided by 2 times 7, we have to do this step first. Same with adding and subtracting. So if I see 4 minus 2 plus 8, this step comes before this step. It's always left to right. So let's look at some examples. If I wanted to evaluate this expression, I would take 16 divided by 2 first and get 8. I would then bring down all my other work steps. 7 plus 8 gives you 15. Add 12, and that gives you 27. Go ahead and try these 3 for me, and I'll be back in just a second to show you what I did. All right, here we go. The first step is division. So 14 minus 3 plus 12. So 14 minus 3 is 11. Add the 12, and I get a total of 23. For this one, the first step is the multiplication, which is 26 here, and this multiplication, which would give you 14. So 26 minus 14, now I can finally subtract after all the multiplication is over. Over here, we have to multiply first, and we get 14. So 20 minus 14 plus the 1, this would be 6 plus 1, which gives you 7. A hint about grouping symbols. The most common are parentheses and brackets and fraction bars. So whenever you see something in parentheses, you do it first. Whenever you see a fraction bar, you do everything on the top first, then everything on the bottom second. When you see something like this, you would do the parentheses first, then do what's in the brackets. So it's almost like a grouping symbol within a grouping symbol. You got to be careful and make sure that you work each step individually. So go ahead and try these for me, and I'll be back in just a second to show you what I did. Okay, make sure that you've paused the video and tried these. All right, so here's what I did though. 11 minus 1 first is 10. Then we're going to divide by 5, which would give us 2. After that, that's when we multiply by 3. That gives us a total of 6. Over here, we're going to do everything in the numerator first, which gives us 64, everything in the denominator second, which gives us 16, and then lastly, we're going to use that fraction bar, which tells us to divide, and we get 4. Same thing with this one. We're going to do everything on top first, and we get 24. We're going to do everything on the bottom second, which we have to multiply, then subtract, and get 6. So now we can take 24 divided by 6 and get 4. What if we have one that has a root in it, like for example, a square root? Remember, exponents and square roots are sort of like opposites of one another. So when you have a square of 4, so 4 squared, that's 16 because 4 times 4 is 16. 2 times itself 3 times is 2 cubed, which gives you 8. So now we can evaluate the top, which would be 24. Now let's work the bottom. The square root of 36 gives you 6, and now I can subtract the 4 to give myself 2, which the answer is then 12. Go ahead and try these 2 for me, and I'll be back in just a second to show you the answers. Remember, you still have to follow order of operations before you work the fraction bar. All right, let me show you what I would have done. I would have first taken 16 times 2 and gotten 32. Then I'm going to add my 8 so I can get 40. Now I'm going to work the bottom. I'm going to first square the 2, which gives me 4, and I know 4 minus 4 is going to cancel each other out. You can do work steps like this as long as you are careful. For example, 14 minus 4, I'm going to check my work, and I know that that does equal 10, in fact. So 4 is my answer. On this one, I'm going to take the square root of 44, which we're asking ourselves what number times itself gives us 144, which would be 12. I'm going to take 2, and then I'm going to take 12 minus 10, which is 2. I kind of told you the answer there. Sorry about that. So now I'm going to multiply 2 times itself 3 times, which is in the denominator, and I'm going to get 8. I'm going to add 2 to that, and I'm going to get 10. This is going to end up being a fraction because my numerator is smaller than my denominator. So 2 divided by 10 is 1/5.